All right, everyone. Welcome back into the cave as we are making our way into episode 6. Hopefully we get some excitement and a little something out of this episode. We did have some positives in episode 5. The professor really started to come alive, which was great. We saw more off of that third and fourth line. So we got some out of the killer. We got some out of Taven. So hopefully we can continue that progress as we move forward. And we can avoid having to send anybody down to New Haven because nobody wants to go to New Haven to play hockey. So once again, like I said, a little bit of a disappointment, but we're going to move forward. Getting ready to head into this game at the Hartford Civic Center. So Nashville currently 15, 19, and 4, 4, and 2 over their last 10. The Hartford Whalers are 21, 14, and 5. A tough stretch of 3, 5, and 2 over our last 10. Between the pipes, we will have for the Nashville Predators, UC Saros in 32 games played. He has 10 wins, a .908 save percentage, and a 3.11 goals against average. Between the pipes for the Whale, we've got Simo, 30 games played, 16 wins, a .912 save percentage, and a 2.82 goals against average. Let's go ahead and jump over to the right. We're going to take a look at the dead-on matchups. Goals for per game. The Predators at 2.39, bottom of the league. So they're not scoring like they would like to. We're falling right in that mid-range, still at about 3 goals per game. Goals against, 17th and 13th, right about even. Power play percentage, 33rd and 22nd. So we got them there. Finally, a team we got. Penalty kill, yeah, theirs is way better than ours. 24th in the league to our 33rd. Let's take a look at our team leaders. Marchessault, he's got 31 points. And Mike Kelly with 52 points on the season. This man has been amazing, way over a point a game, so excellent job there. As we get ready to head into the Hartford Civic Center. So on your way in, make sure you stop at the food court, pick up something to eat, maybe a little Orange Julius. And for you youngsters out there, you probably don't even know what that is, but it was pretty good. All right, so with all that being said, let's make our way into the Hartford Civic Center and take a look at tonight's game against the Nashville Predators. All right, so here we are inside the first period. We send them right on the power play. Now we're on the power play and we get nothing. Now they're back on the power play and they get nothing. So we're back and forth on the power plays. We haven't taken too many shots. We go on the power play. We get nothing out of that one. So the team's been pretty quiet these last couple of weeks, okay? Goals have not been coming the way we'd like them to. Let's roll right into the second period of this one, and Nashville's on the power play. We're going to kill that. No, Nyquist, that wasn't a power play goal, so that's a plus for the team. Nyquist gets the goal. We need this one. We need something to happen here, okay? Power play for Nashville, and that time it's a power play goal. And then Gavin Kirkish with the goal. Nice. So 5-on-4 on the power play for Hartford, nothing. Back and forth, power play, power play, power play. Hinostroza gets one right at the end of the second period. It's 3-1. Can we get some sort of miracle here in the mall? The miracle in the mall. I like that. Okay, let's roll. And if for those of you who don't know, they did play in a mall. It was different. It was like right inside the mall. Okay, 5-on-4 power play. And Kirkish gets a second goal. And Feddo gets the goal. And it's 3-3. Let's do this, baby. Okay, so this game is all tied up at the end of 3 periods. We are going to overtime. I swear this team right here loves. They absolutely love to take me to overtime. It's like they just get the blood pressure going early on, and it gets me excited as we roll through the rest of the game. So let's go ahead and jump into our overtime period and see how the team does. All right, baby, controllers down. Here we go. 3-3 inside the mall. Let's do this. Connor Burns, Serge, Kelly out on the ice. Burns takes it up the wall to Kelly. Oh, and Burns had the shot. Oh, he had the shot. All right, here we go. Kelly falls back. There's Serge. Serge got to step up. Get that puck away. Good job, Sergio. Good pass to Kelly. Kelly to Connor. Oh, no, it's Feddo. Feddo off the bench. Oh, yeah! Feddo in overtime! Woo! All right, everybody. Mr. Fetto coming up big in the overtime. Absolutely loved watching that, okay? That was crazy. It's like Connor went over to the bench. Fetto jumps off. He's right at center ice, and Kelly just scoots the puck up to him, and bam, he puts it in the net. Huge goal. That was 2 for him in the game. Excellent game. Kirkish and Fetto coming through for the team. Wow, what a game to get us our first 2 points of the episode. Proud of the boys on that one. They were down 3-1 and came back, so great job. We're going to mark that one on the board before we jump in and take a look at our 3 stars of the game. And I swear, if Mr. Fetto is not our top star, I'm going to lose it. I swear. And Mr. Fetto gets the 3rd star of the game. He had 2 goals, including that game winner in overtime. He had 0 assists and a hit. Braden Walker, yeah, the man was doing helpers, so we didn't actually see any goals out of him, but he had 2 helpers. He's our 2nd star. And of course, Gavin, he had 2 goals in the regulation. So 2 goals, he had 3 hits. Man's playing better as we move through these games. So great game. Got a lot out of the team. I don't like being on the edge of my seat, though. Okay, I want to see some blowouts in this episode. We want to see some blowouts, especially against some of these quality teams, because they could be our playoff matchups as we move through the season. Yeah, I said playoffs. I believe. I think we're going to get it. I think we'll be in the playoffs. So let's go ahead. We're going to move on to our next game against Florida. Once again, a great game from the team. Big overtime goal from Mr. Fetto. So let's go ahead and head back into the studio and take a look at our next game against Florida. All right, everybody. Again, coming off one heck of an emotional game against Nashville to get the first 2 points of the episode. Huge game from Mr. Kirkish. Huge game from Mr. Fetto. And, of course, we saw Braden getting those helpers. So it's nice to see the rest of the team really coming together. In the last episode, we saw a lot out of the professor, Mr. Kelly. Okay, even Sergio had a couple of goals in that last episode. So it's good to see the rest of the team kind of banding together and in that fight to get us that playoff spot. So excellent job. Great job in that game. Now we got another tough one coming up, okay, folks? We're taking on the Florida Panthers at home, back at the mall, okay? It's 20-15 Florida Panthers against the 22-14-5 Hartford Whalers from the Hartford Civic Center. Between the pipes for Florida is Spencer Knight, who in this universe is still in Florida. He actually moved on via trade to Chicago if you follow the actual NHL. Spencer is he's got 4 wins, a .879 save percentage, and a 3.52 goals against average. Simo will still be between the pipes. Coach says, hey, let's leave her there. They are 10th in goals for per game. They're 10th in goals against per game, 14th on the power play, 19th on the kill. And they have 44 total points from Alexander Barkov to lead their team. Our team getting a little bit better here and there. Still not doing too good on the penalty kill. We saw that in the last game against Nashville. And that's just going to come back to bite us. It really is. It's going to be a struggle. So let's go ahead. We're going to jump into the mall and take a look at tonight's game against the Florida Panthers. All right, so here we are inside the first period, and the professor gets us a goal. This is a big game, folks. I said we could win this one. Okay, when we were looking at our predictions, I gave us 2 points here. So Kelly gets the power play goal. It's 2-0. Let's do this. And they put their backup in between the pipes. So that might help us out just a little bit. All right, so we're through the first period, and yeah, I get to talking. I'm so excited about this. All right, here we go. Second period. Not a whole lot of play-by-play in the first period. And Hartford on the power play, we get nothing, but we are up 2-0. We're on the power play again. We're going to get nothing. We get blanked on that one. Here we are, about 5 minutes to go inside the second period. All right, that's going to do it for the second period. No score for Florida. She is holding it down between the pipes. That's why she's there. That's why the coach said we need her and not Deej between the pipes. No offense, Deej. All right, you've held your own when we needed you. But against the big teams, that's when we really need that power. Okay, here we go, right into the third period. Rolling into the third period, holding on to a shutout. Let's hold this one down, baby. Florida on the power play. That could hurt us? No, we kill it off. Excellent job. Shots are just about even as we roll through this game. They're on the power play again. And we are going to... Oh, Lundell gets the score. 1 minute to go. And yes, great job. So Lundell kind of snuck that goal in with just about 2 minutes left in that game. But you know what? Who cares? All right, we came away with the victory. That's 2 huge points. That is 2 huge points against a very difficult hockey team, a good hockey team. Their record could be better, okay? It definitely could be better, but that's always a tough game. All right, defending Stanley Cup champions, we went in there and we took them down. So 2 points out of the Whalers tonight. Excellent job between the pipes. Let's go ahead and take a look at our 3 stars. 3 stars of the game. Our 3rd star is the Professor. He had a goal and a helper. 2 stars for Mike Kelly with a goal and a helper. And then Simo between the pipes, giving up just that 1 goal and having 31 total saves. Excellent job from the team tonight. As we rolled through that second game of the set, we picked up another 2 points. Let's go ahead and mark that on the big board. And if you're doing the math at home, 2 and 2 makes 4. As we continue to look for our 14 points in the episode. And, you know, I'm a little superstitious. I didn't want to write 14 on the board because the last time I did that, we only got 8 points. So I'm not going to write the 14 on the board, and we're going to see what happens, okay? But so far, we are 2 for 2 in our predictions. So we picked that game against Nashville. We picked the game against Florida. And we're going to make our way into the studio and take a look at the game against the St. Louis Blues. Are back in the studio coming off of that big win against the Florida Panthers at home inside the mall. Some bad news, though, coming out of that game. We will lose Taven Lamprey for a couple of games due to a hip pointer. So he's going to be out. Milan Lucic will be filling in for him on that 3rd line. We're coming off back-to-back wins over Nashville and Florida as we head into this game at the Civic Center against the St. Louis Blues, who are 19, 18, and 4. They are 5-5 in their last 10 games, so they're not playing too bad, including a win over us. They got us too in our last episode. We are 23, 14, and 5, 4, and 1 in our last 10 games. Between the pipes for us, we will have DJ Gallegos, okay? We are hoping for a big one out of him. 15 games played, 5 wins, .90 save percentage, and 3 goals against. All right, straight up 3 goals. In between the pipes for the St. Louis Blues, the hero of the 4 Nations Cup for Canada, between the pipes, Jordan Binnington, 34 games played, 17 wins, .911 save percentage, and a 3.04 goals against average. So he's having a decent season. Definitely a decent season, right about 500 on his win percentage, it looks like. In the dead-on matchups, let's take a look on the right side. This is where we could have some advantages, okay? Goals for per game, they're 28th. We're currently 18th. Goals against per game, they're 23rd. We're 11th. Power play percentage, just about even. Penalty kill percentage, that's where they get us, okay? Defensively, they're good on the penalty kill. They're 19th in the league. Team leaders, thank you very much. Mike Kelly remains top of the team with 55 points, and Pavel Buchnevich with 36 points for the St. Louis Blues. Now, I haven't even really looked at the stats, and we'll probably look at them at the end of this episode, but I do know that the Professor is making his way up, and he's challenging Mike Kelly for that spot. So we'll see how he progresses throughout the episode. It's like every time I turn on a game, boom, boom, boom. He's either getting a goal or an assist, or he's popping up into 3 stars. So that's definitely been good. Pichek, he's kind of fallen off a little bit since the injury, so he's still kind of recovering. I've had him in the games, and he's recovering from injuries. So, again, before we head into this game, we are down Taven Lamprey, so that's going to hurt us on that 3rd line. The veteran Milan Lucic will be filling in for him on that left wing. Let's go ahead and make our way inside the mall in Hartford, Connecticut for tonight's game against the St. Louis Blues. All right, so here we are inside of the first period. No score, back and forth, first 5 minutes. We go on the power play. Nothing there. Okay, we're looking for a third straight win and a sixth straight point. That would be great to get some points out of this team. We're going to go right through the first period and no action here inside the mall. No action inside the mall here in the first. Let's go ahead and roll right into that second period. Shots? Yeah, we've got a lot of shots. Got about 16 shots so far. They're on the power play. And no, it doesn't bite us. It doesn't bite us this time. We go on the power play. Can we get something? No, nothing. Quiet game against the St. Louis Blues. DJ, Mike, do you say it? No, don't say anything, Mike. Don't say anything. Just let it go. Here we go, third period. No score. No score in the third. And Greg Swift out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. With the goal, it's like, oh, coming off of that. That's a third line with Lucic. It's 1-0 Hartford. And all right, folks, I don't know if you caught that right at the end, but Pichek, who I talked about in the pregame, yeah, he got himself a goal right there. Little empty netter right at the end of the game. So great job out of the Hartford Whalers. And folks, I don't know about you, but I'm counting 3 wins in a row. That's got us to 6 total on the episode with a total of 7 games to go. All right, so this team is looking pretty good so far. Tame it down, Mike. Settle down. Don't go too crazy. All right, we like what we're seeing in this episode, but we've got some tough games coming up. We've got some real contests coming up. So take a look at our 3 stars. 3 stars of the game. Pichek coming in at the 3rd star. He had a goal and 0 assists, 4 hits. And our 2nd star, oh my goodness, I went through that whole post game and never even mentioned this man. DJ Gallegos, he had a shutout. The man had a shutout. He shuts out St. Louis on 22 saves. Obviously 1,000 save percentage or 1 save percentage, whatever you want to call it. But, dude, hang a star on that one for this dude. Coming up with a shutout. And here we're always coming down on him throughout the season. And Jordan Binnington, he gets the top star. I would have given that to DJ. I don't know how you feel about that. Throw me a few likes if you like DJ's game tonight, but I would have given that top star to DJ. Binnington gets our top star. So, folks, we are through 3 games in this episode, okay? Not quite halfway there, but we're through 3 games. So let's go ahead and make our way back into the studio and take a look at our next game against the Carolina Hurricanes. We are back inside the studio. Actually, on the road, we had a couple of days off, took a little trip down to Carolina as we get ready to take on the Carolina Hurricanes, who everybody knows, if you've been paying attention through the first 5 episodes, this team has our number, okay? Okay, we're 0-3 against this team this year. It's been a struggle every time we play them. Hartford 24-14-5. Carolina, yeah, they're tops, I think, in the league. 35-10-2. On the season, they're 6-4 in their last 10, but we're 5-4-1. So this could be a pretty even matchup if you go off last 10. Between the pipes, we got Simo with 18 wins, a .914 save percentage, and 2.76 goals against. And then between the pipes for Carolina, 29 wins, not .93. That made me giggle. I'm like laughing at that. .936 save percentage and 1.88 goals against average for Freddie Anderson. This dude is on. Dead on matchups, not even looking at those. If you want to take a look, be my guest. This is a game that I called for a win. I called for 2 points. So let's see if I predicted this one right. I'm thinking they got us 3 times this year. It's our turn. So let's go ahead and make our way inside of the Lenovo Center to take on the Carolina Hurricanes. All right, so here we are inside, and Pichek gets us the goal. 38 seconds in. I love it. All right. 1-0 Hartford, and we come out firing. We came out firing on that one. So it's 1-0. We are, and Svechnikov gets the goal. So it ties this one right back up. So So it's going to be end of the first. Yes, end of the first period. And Pichek gets his second goal in as many games. Svechnikov ties it back. Svechnikov. I have to stop when I say that. Svechnikov gets the goal. So it's going to tie this puppy up at 1. We're going into the second period. Shots are 12-9 in favor of Carolina. As we roll into the second, we put them on the power play and we kill that off. So we need something to happen here, guys. And Jarvis gets the goal. You know, I'm thinking that DJ might be in the pipe between the pipes next time. Aho gets the goal and Hall gets the goal, and they are killing us. What is going on? Aho gets a goal. It's 5-1. I'm thinking we're going to see DJ come into this game because she is getting destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. Okay, here we are inside the third period of a 5-1 game. Can we get somebody give me something else? You know, we're getting close to contract time, and ain't nobody giving me any reason to sign a contract. Not a one. Not a one. Okay, so we're about 5 minutes to go in this game. Nobody's going to score for this team. Nobody. Okay, so I don't know if you were actually paying attention to any of that, but Pichek did manage to get us a goal about 38 seconds into the game, and then the rest of the team just took the night off. Okay? It's like they went down to Carolina and they played golf and took the night off. That's a big old fat 0 on the board for the team in this one. Kind of a struggle. Kind of a struggle. I can't even find a positive. I have no positive except for the Pichek goal. I have no positive. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 3 stars from this one. Jarvis, of course, Rantanen, of course, and Aho. So I feel like these 3 guys have beaten us single-handedly in 4 games this year. So let's go ahead and make our way back into the studio. We've got another tough game coming up against Florida, also on the road. Folks, if we can get a point, if you can get me 1 point, 3 points on this road trip, that would be amazing because we started with 6. So let's go ahead and head back to the studio, and we'll talk about our next game against the Florida Panthers. All right. So here we are back in the studio coming off of that loss. I so badly want to say something else, but I won't. So let's go ahead and move forward, shall we? We're going to take a look at the Florida Panthers, who we're taking on in the next game. Still out on the road. We'll be at the Amerant Bank Arena in Sunshine, Florida, to take on the Florida Panthers, who currently on the season we are 1-0 against, so that's good. That's a plus. We beat them 2-1 in the last game. Simo was our first star. She had gave just a 1 goal and had 31 saves, so she'll be between the pipes for this one against the Panthers. She'll be taking on Sergei Bobrovsky. Bob will be between the pipes. He has 16 wins, .911 save percentage. Simo with 18 wins and a .911 save percentage. So they're just about even. They are actually just about even so far on the season. Over here on the right, yeah, they're a good team. They're right about the middle of the league in just about every category, kind of on the upper echelon offensively. So that's important for them. You can see where we have just continued to sit basically stagnant, like the team isn't moving in the statistical category. So hopefully that'll change as we continue on through this episode and into the next episode. Okay, I don't know if we're going to see much of a change in the penalty kill, but we are going to do something different. Let's see, we are currently 44 games into the season. So we're past the midway mark of the season. We're getting close to the trade deadline. So we might be doing a little trade special at some point, a little episode where it's 30 minutes of me trying to trade somebody to see what we can do moving forward. Okay, so with all that being said, all right, we've got some ideas to how we stand against the Florida Panthers. This is a big game for us, okay? So far through 4 games in the episode, we have 6 points. The team is playing good. Good. They have to shake off that last terrible loss to the Carolina Hurricanes, roll into Florida, get their 2 points, and roll out, okay? Because our next game is against Boston, and that's going to be even tougher than this one. So let's go ahead and make our way inside the Amarant Bank Arena in Sunshine and take a look at tonight's game against the Florida Panthers. All right, so here we are right into the first period, and Entwistle gets the goal early. It's 1-0 Florida, and we still have no offensive power. Nothing is happening here. Shots are 10-5 in favor of Hartford. In favor of Hartford, as we end the first period. 1-0. Not sure if that's a glitch, but there's 22 seconds. So I'm not sure what that means in the second period. Let's go ahead and roll into the second period. Inside the second period, still nothing happening. We go on the power play. Can we get something? Sergio from the blue line, baby. It's 1-1, all tied up, and here we go, rolling through the second period. Give me something. Anybody give me something. Do it. Nope, we're going to see nothing at the end. Okay, so here we are. End of the second period. It's a 1-1 game. We're looking for 2 points, folks. No overtimes. Definitely no shootouts. I don't have time for a shootout today, okay? I cannot sit here for 35 minutes. I can't sit here for 35 minutes. No, 35 minutes and watch this team in a shootout. I don't got time for that stuff. So somebody needs to come up big, all right? I'm calling out 2 guys right here. 2 guys right here. Okay, I want to see Connor Burns. Or I want to see Mr. Fetto come in here and get me a goal and win it. Burns or Fetto. Remember I said that. And I'm not, this is all, it's all live. I'm doing this live, so I have no idea what's going to happen. All right, here we go into the third period. And Reinhardt gets the goal, and then Reinhardt gets another goal on the power play. No, we can't lose this game. I'm literally jumping up and down in the middle of my kitchen. Oh, and we are going to lose. We are going to lose this game. All right, so we get nothing in that third period. Reinhardt gets 2 goals for the Panthers. Power play. He's great on a power play. I think it was one of the best in the actual NHL last year. Not sure how he's doing this year, but definitely one of the best last year. Scoring big for the Panthers. Of course, they won the Stanley Cup championship last year, so to be expected that they're scoring on the power play. Let's take a look at our 3 stars for the game. Entwistle had a goal, 0 assists, and 0 hits. Reinhardt with 2 goals, 0 assists, and 3 hits. And, of course, Bob, he played well in between the pipes, 1.5 goals against, 34 saves, and a .971 save percentage. So, cap that marker, put that 0 on the board, and we have back-to-back losses. Let's go ahead and head back to the studio. We'll take a look at our next game against the Boston Bruins. All right, welcome back into the studio, coming off of this tough 3-1 loss to the Florida Panthers on their home ice. So here's the game that's coming up next. We're going to be taking on Boston. Boston currently 29-13-4, so they've got a good record. We're at 24-16-5, so we're right there at that halfway point of the season. Our last 10 games were 5-4-1, and Boston is 6-2-2, so we're just about even there. Between the pipes, they'll have Jeremy Swayman, 31 games played, 17 wins, .92 save percentage. We've got Simo between the pipes, 34 games, 18 wins, and a .91 save percentage. So she's been pretty good. We'll see how she does against the Boston Bruins in this game. Over here on the right side in our straight-up matchup, they've got us in just about every statistical category, including team leaders. Pasternak has passed me now. He's got 62 total points to my 58. So, hopefully we can get something going here over the next couple of games. With all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this game against the Boston Bruins. All right, so here we are inside the first period, and Brad Marchand, who's not even a Bruin anymore in real life, scores on us, so it's 1-0. Boston on the power play, it gets nothing. Fagan with the goal, ties this puppy right back up. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Whalers. 1-1 tie. And Kostelic gets a goal, so it's 2-1. We're going to head to the end of the first period. Okay, right here we are at the end of the first period. Boston with 8 shots to Hartford's 10. They've got a 2-1 lead. So Simo's given up a couple of goals. Let's go ahead and jump right into the second period. All right, so we're early, and Beto gets the power play goal. Pasternak just answers it, and then Jimmy answers it. We're all tied up, baby. 3-3, 5-4 power plays. Zadorov scores one shorthanded. It's a 4-3 game. Zacha with the goal. I got quiet. I got real quiet. So they're on the power play again. It's 5-3 Boston. Shots are, just about dead even as we continue on. And there we are at the end of the second period. So a couple of big goals from us. Mr. Fetto, Jimmy puts one between the sticks, and Pasternak, Zadorov, and Zacha get a goal for Boston. So here we are at the end of the second. It's 5-3 Boston. Let's go ahead and jump right into the third period, shall we? Couple minutes in. Shots still just about even. Come on, baby. Let's get something. Pasternak gets another goal. It's 6-3, and I don't know about this one. Feeney says, no, I'll give us another goal. It's 6-4. They go on the power play. Nothing on that one. And this is a quiet end to this game. Okay, so that's going to do it here in Boston. A 6-4 final. We got a couple of goals, though. A couple of goals. We got one from Mr. Fetto, Jimmy. Feeney got one for us, so pretty good turnout. Of course, we struggled again on the kill. We even gave up a shorthanded goal. So a tough loss to Boston. Let's go ahead and mark that one on the board as a big, fat 0 points. And there goes the 14-point dream. Pretty sure we can put that one to bed. We can't actually get there. So let's go ahead and shoot for 10, shall we? We're at 6 right now. If we can get a couple more points in this episode, that'd be great. This was a true test, though. This is a team we could end up playing in the playoffs. So, it's going to be that could be a sign of things to come, unfortunately. But like I said, that trade deadline is inching closer, and maybe we can kind of shore some things up, especially defensively, to get that penalty kill better. Let's go ahead and take a look at our 3 stars, shall we? 3 stars in today's game. We had Zadorov, Marchand, and Pasternak. Not really going to spend a lot of time on this. It's all yellow, and that's not what we want to see. We want to see a lot more green up there. But Boston had a great game and took us down on their home ice. Okay, so here we are back in the studio coming off that tough loss to the Boston Bruins. We are moving on. Unfortunately, not only did we lose that game to Boston, but we also lost the professor, who's going to be out, I think it was another couple of days. So he might not be joining us in New York. He'll probably catch up with us at home when we go back to the mall to take on Calgary. So we'll be missing him in the next couple of games. He's out with a hamstring injury. So let's go ahead and move forward. We will be taking on the New York Rangers, who are 34-10-2. All right, so one of the better teams in their division. Between the pipes, they'll have one of the best in the league, Igor Shesterkin, 33 games played, 25 wins, and a .927 save percentage. Just look at his goals against average of 2.13. So you can see it's going to be a tough one for us. Between the pipes for us, we'll have Simo again. Gave up a couple of goals in that last game, 6 to be exact. But hey, it is what it is. The team is 24-17-5, holding on to a playoff spot as best they can. Currently 5-4-1 in their last 10. We look at the dead-on matchup or the straight-up matchup or whatever I call it over here on the right side. Goals for per game, they've got us there. They've got us in goals against, power play percentage, penalty kill. Ours is still almost dead last in the league. And I've only got 60 points now. I must have had something happen in that last game, maybe a couple of helpers. So exciting stuff, okay? I'm a little disappointed that we have 3 losses in a row. So we need to get something going here against this New York team. So let's go ahead and jump in and see how we do. All right, so here we are. Mike Kelly gets the first goal of the game. It's 1-0 Hartford. This is a big game against a good team, so we got to come away with something. No Professor out there, no Taven still. So the team is struggling a little bit, hanging on though. Late in the first period, shots are just about even, and Panarin puts one in, the bread man with the goal. And we are right here at the end of the first period. It's 1-0. I'm sorry, 1-0. I'm so negative, right? I'm so negative. It's 1-1, all tied up as we hit the end of the first period. Goals from Kelly and Panarin, couple of true scores. Let's go ahead and make our way into the second period. Second period rolls right on. Still 1-1, pretty quiet to start. We go on the power play, and it's Braden with the power play goal, something we don't see very often. It's 2-1 Hartford at the Garden, and Zibanejad puts one through. So this game is all tied up. Second period, 5 minutes to go. Shots almost dead even as we continue through. There we are, right at the end of the second period now. This game is all tied up thanks to Braden on a power play. And of course, Zibanejad, well, he tied it up. That's what made it 2-2 right there as we made our way towards the middle of the period. Let's go ahead and jump into that third period, shall we? Here we are about 3 minutes in, and Jimmy with the goal. I love it. So we changed up the lines after the professor went out, and Isaac Morgan, the captain, with a goal. Beautiful. It's 4-2 Hartford. We're beating one of the best teams in the league. Let's hold on, boys. Hold it down. And yes, we are going to come away with the victory over the New York Rangers on their home ice. How about that? The team comes up big when I ask them to come up big. All right. So we're going to mark that one on the big board. That's a total of 8 points for this episode. And in case you missed it, in case you didn't see it right there at the end, we saw Mr. Connor Burns get that empty netter goal. So got himself a couple of points there. Excellent job from the team. Let's go ahead and take a look at our 3 stars of the game. And of course, Panarin, he had a goal and an assist. So he's our 3rd star. Gavin Kirkish with 3 helpers. A huge game for him. And of course, Connor, who had that empty netter right at the end. Oh, let's go ahead and head back to the studio and take a look at our next game against the New York Islanders. All right, so welcome back into the studio. We just got word that the professor and Taven are going to be missing this game as well. So we're going to be looking for some help from those guys who have been pushing and filling in, especially Mr. Burns, who had that great empty netter, had a couple of helpers. Mr. Kirkish, who had 3 helpers. So making a claim to stick around, okay? He's been on the trade block, so he's making a claim to stick around, getting us a couple points here and there. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next game. Coming up, we are heading to the UBS Arena to take on my New York Islanders. Of course, I manage the Hartford Whalers. I am truly an Islanders fan. And they got us earlier this year, so I'm hoping maybe we can get them on their home ice. Let's take a look at who's between the pipes in this game. We'll have Semyon Varlamov, so we won't get Sorokin. Must be on the other side of a back-to-back, or he's injured. But we're going to get Varlamov in this game. He's appeared 17 times. He's only got 3 wins. His save percentage is .90, and he's given up 3.62 goals against. So that tells me we really need to be aggressive and go after him in this game. DJ will be between the pipes out on the island. He's got 17 games played, 6 wins, a .91, and a 2.7 goals against average. So he's gotten progressively better. He's been playing much better in these last couple of appearances. So great job there. And I say great job there a lot because I'm trying to be positive. I want my team to grow and get better. So let's go ahead and take a look over on the right. The last time we met was a 4-3 win actually for us. So so far through the season, it's a 1-1 record, a 1-1 record against them. Mike Kelly, I had 2 goals against them last time in that victory. I believe that was at home. Not really sure, but I believe it was at home. So let's go ahead and take a look at the straight-up matchup over here on the right side. And they are 31st in goals for per game. And as a fan in real life, yeah, I can believe that. And nothing against you boys. I love you. They play hard, but they don't score a lot. So goals against per game, we got them there. Power play percentage, we got them there. Penalty kill, they got us. So they're 30th, we're 32nd. So both penalty kills are pretty bad. Team leaders, I've got Brock Nelson by about 18 points. So it's going to be an exciting game. Hopefully we can get some scoring done. That's something we haven't really been able to do too much of against this team. They got us in preseason, and they got us once to start the season. So hopefully this is an opportunity to get 2 points. As you may know, if you've been adding or counting, we are at 8 so far for this episode, and we have 3 left to go. So we could come away with 14, okay? If we won the next 3 games, we'd get 14, and I would be jumping up and down in my living room if we get this done. So let's go ahead and move into tonight's game against the New York Islanders at the UBS Arena. All right, so here we are inside the first period, and Craig Swift with the shorty. I love it. It's 1-0 Hartford on the road on the island, and the Isaac Captain Morgan with the goal. It's 2-0 Hartford. Let's go. Let's just keep taking it to them. And the shots are about, oh, and look at Palmieri with the goal. So it's 2-1 right here at the end of the first period. And yes, shots are almost even. We had 2 goals early. Swifty came up with a goal with about 2 minutes in. And then Isaac about halfway through. And then Palmieri puts one by DJ with about 3 minutes to go in the period. Let's go ahead and move forward into the second period. Here we are in the second. And Bo Horvat ties it up early. Came right out of the locker room and just boom, puts one in. It's 2-2 about halfway through the period. And Matty B puts one past DJ. 3-2. They go on the power play and get nothing. Come on, boys. Give me a goal. Give me something. Come on. Nothing here at the end of the second period. So it's 3-2 on goals from Horvat and Barzal in the second period. Let's just go right into that third. Now this team is taking it. Oh, and Matty B gets another one. So it's 4-2. And then Palmieri again. It's 5-2. Oh, we're almost to the halfway point of the third. And this could be a loss on the island unless we can get something going. Power play for Hartford. And Braden gets a goal. It's 5-3. Come on, boys. Give me something. Oh, we missed a professor, don't we? Power play New York. Okay, so that's going to do it from UBS. Oh, pretty good game. We actually jumped out real quick on these guys. Took a 2-0 lead, and then it was just boom, 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 boom. They played Islander hockey like I haven't seen in a long time. So a lot of goals, a lot of scoring, a lot of action. DJ unfortunately didn't have the best night between the pipes, so we'll have to see how we kind of maneuver that. Like I said, I'm just letting the coach do it. He made that call, and well, it didn't really pay off, did it? We probably could have gone with Simo in this game, but it is what it is. And of course, that means go to the big board. Let's go ahead and go to the big board. Uncork that pen. And that's a big fat 0 for that game. That was one I really thought we could come away with some points, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at our 3 stars, shall we? 3 stars of the game. Of course, it's all orange and blue, which on a typical day, I'd be like, yes, I love to see that. Palmieri had 2 goals and 0 assists. Look at Brock Nelson, who unfortunately is no longer an Islander. Broke my heart earlier this year. But 4 assists for him and 2 goals and 2 assists for Matty B. So we made these guys look like total champions in this game. Let's go ahead and make our way back to the studio and get ready for our next game against the Calgary Flames. All right. Welcome back in. Coming off that tough loss to the Islanders. And yes, I say tough loss a lot because every loss to me is tough. I just want to try to win every game if possible. And unfortunately, we can't do that. We had a couple of guys out. Kind of hurt us a little bit. But that's okay. All right, we came back up north after being down south for a little bit. Got ourselves 2 points, played a couple of tough games. And now we can head back home to the mall to take on Calgary. And then, of course, we've got a tough game against Dallas, who we know has given us fits here over the last, year so far. If you watched any of the earlier episodes that ended up deleted, they also gave us fits in those games as well. So we're heading into this game against Calgary. We've got everybody back, with the exception of Mr. Kirkish, who actually went down with a sore knee after the last game, so he's going to be gone until February 3rd, so that's about a week or so. Got to get some ice and therapy, and I don't know. He's going to take a little bit of time off. So with all that being said, let's take a look at tonight's matchup against the Calgary Flames. Calgary so far this year is a surprising 26-22-3. They're having a pretty good season. Okay, they weren't expected to be playing like this. Dustin Wolf will be between the pipes for them. He's appeared in 40 games, 22 wins, a .92 save percentage, and a 2.57 goals against average. Pretty interesting thing about him, he's one of the few goalies in AHL history to actually win the MVP. That's a feat, okay? To win the MVP award as a goalie for a league is pretty good. So they've got a good goalie between the pipes. Between the pipes for us tonight, we'll have Simo, 36 games played, 19 wins, .909 save percentage, and a 2.97 goals against average. You can see that starting to drop. Those numbers are starting to drop a little bit. Our defense hasn't been playing the greatest, which is kind of putting both of our goalies in a tough spot. So hopefully that defense can get amped up, okay, get us a couple more wins, and really help them out just a little bit more as we continue to move forward. Let's take a look at our matchup over here on the right side. We've got them in goals for per game. They've got us in goals against, so their defense is playing well. Power play percentage, ours is just a little bit, ours is higher. We're about mid-level of the league, 15.8% to their 8.2. On the penalty kill, not even going to talk about it. And everybody knows why I'm not going to talk about it, because ours is just horrendous. So as we approach the trade deadline, that's what we're going to be looking at. We have got to do something to get a little bit better on the kill. We need some defense. We need someone who's actually going to get out there and be defensive instead of trying to score all the time. Team leaders, Nazem Kadri, he's got 34 points for the Flames. Mike Kelly has 61 points for the Hartford Whalers. So let's go ahead and make our way inside the mall. Go ahead and grab yourself an orange Julius or a hot dog on the stick, and let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's game against the Hartford Whalers and the Calgary Flames. All right, so here we are inside the first period, and Ball gets a goal almost immediately. Buddy, this is hockey. It's not a ball, it's a puck. Anyway, we're rolling right on about halfway through the period. Shots are just about even. We go on the power play, and boom, it's Mr. Feddo saying, I want to stay on this team, baby. Get us a power play goal, and that's what we want to see. Excellent job. It's 1-1, and we are at the end of the first period in a 1-1 game. We had goals from Ball and Feddo. Let's go ahead and make our way into the second period, shall we? Mr. Farabee gets a goal past Simo. Yeah, you heard that. I started all stuttering there. Anyway, rolling right along, halfway through the period, it's 2-1 Calgary. Team's not doing much tonight. Come on, in front of the home fans. We can't lose to Calgary. All right, so here we are, end of the second period. Farabee had that goal early in the second period, so we kind of held him off, played a little more defense there as we made our way through the second period, but we're not getting any goals, and we've taken more shots than them. So let's go ahead and see what happens here inside the third. In the third period, the Mall's rocking. We want some goals. Come on, let's get some goals. And Kadri gets a goal. It's 3-1. I have not seen a great comeback yet from this team at all. It's almost like we go down and they just stay down. And here we are, 5 minutes left to go. Team's so quiet, not even shooting the puck. And what a disappointment there in that game. Zari had a goal right there at the end with the empty netter. We pulled Simo to try to bolster, kind of pump up that offense, get us a goal. Nothing really happened there. This is a 4-1 loss on our home ice to the Calgary Flames. That is a tough one. I'm going to the big board. I just took the cap off the pen. This is a fat 0. And we are at 8 points for this episode, which means we're going to have to take on Dallas, who has been so tough against us, and try to get ourselves a victory at home against a team that we just can't score against. So, tough loss here, okay? I was really expecting a little bit more out of this team, but it looks like Wolf just had a great game between the pipes. I'm almost guaranteeing he's going to show up in the 3 stars. Almost guaranteeing it. Let's go ahead and jump into our 3 stars of the night. Boom, there he is. Of course, he's the first star, the top star. And no, there's no way for me to see this. I just kind of know. Obviously, he only gave up 1 goal. So, excellent job between the pipes by Wolf. 3rd star of the game went to Ball. He had that opening goal. Farabee, who had, I believe, the 2nd goal of the game. So, a tough loss again on our home ice, okay? Maybe these guys spent too much time partying out on the road, or they're just tired from the road trip, and they haven't quite recovered. Taking that tough home loss against the Calgary Flames. So, with every game, and with every point we're not getting, we are just falling farther and farther behind. So we're going to need something big to happen to try to maintain a playoff spot and get us going. All right, we're not going to have any opportunity at this cup if we can't play better during this season. So let's go ahead and head back to the studio and take a look at our next game against the Dallas Stars. All right, welcome back into the studio. We are getting ready to take on one of the tougher teams in this game. Their record might not, well, it does show it, 29-14-5. So they're having a good season, and we actually get Ottinger in this game. We did not, I think we got the Smith in the last game we played against them, so this is going to be a tough one, okay? They came all the way to Hartford to take us on. It's going to be a tough game. I'm really hoping we can get some scoring because we have not seen much of that over the last couple of games. So here's where we stand so far in episode 6 or 5 or 6. I'm pretty sure it's 6. It's been a long week, a lot of work. So we currently have 8 points, okay? We had a win against Nashville. We had that win against Florida. We had a win against St. Louis. We started out the episode awesome with 6 straight points, and then it was boom, boom, boom. 3 losses in a row. Carolina, Florida, and Boston, all losses on the road. We beat the Rangers, which was a shock. All right, that was one that I actually predicted we wouldn't get any points. I predicted a loss there. We lost to the Islanders. That was one that I predicted a win. So if you're adding that up in your head, yes, we're at 8 points. All right, so we're not going to get that 14-point goal. We're going to go out here and try to get 2 more against Dallas and come away with 10 in this episode, which would be the lowest, I believe, so far as we've been making our way through this season. This was a tough stretch. The team is a little bit tired out. We saw some injuries there so far through this episode. We lost the Professor. We lost Taven. Mr. Kirkish is out. So it's been a tough stretch, all right? But we have also seen some exciting goals, some names we're not used to seeing pop up. Mr. Swift had a goal. Morgan had a goal. So we've been seeing some of the other guys say, you know what? I want to be a part of this. Get me into this game and let me score. So let's go ahead and make our way into Dallas. You know what? We're not even in Dallas. We're in Hartford. Anyway, let's take a look at the 2 teams, shall we? Let's do that first. Dallas, 29-14-5. They are 7-3-0 in their last 10, so they're pretty hot. Jake Ottinger will be between the pipes. You see his stats down below. He's got 24 wins, a .917 save percentage, so he's been pretty good so far. Our team is 25-19-5 and creeping closer and closer to 500, which is not good. We are 4-6-0 in our last 10 games. We can come away 5-5 at the end of this episode if we can get this win against Dallas. And in the straight up matchup over here on the right, you can see all their stats. They've got us in every single statistical category, with the exception of me outscoring Mr. Robertson 61-51 on the year. So with all that being said, let's go ahead. Make sure you grab your orange Julius or a hot dog on a stick and go ahead and let's make our way into the mall for this game against the Dallas Stars. All right, so here we are inside the mall, first period, and Blake Sant gets us a goal. And Robertson answers it right back. It's 1-1. We need more from our lower lines. Ben gets a goal. It's 2-1. Somebody give me something. Anybody give me something. 5 minutes to go. And Braden Walker ties it up. It's 2-2. Right here at the end of the first period, we got goals from Blake and Braden. I don't even care about the Stars' goals. All I care about is our goals. Let's go ahead and get another one, shall we? Heading into the second period of play. And Mike Kelly gets a goal, and it's 3-2. And we are just beating up on the Otter tonight. 12 minutes to go in the period, and Johnston gets a goal. So it's 3-3. This is a tie game with about halfway to go in the period. 3-2. We got about a minute left to go, and that's it for the second period. All tied up. Kelly with a goal. Johnson with a goal. Excellent period. Let's roll right into that third period. Time just ticking away. They go on the power play, and they get nothing. We kill it off. We go on the power play, and we get killed off. We go back on the power play. Give us a goal. Nothing there. About 5 minutes to go in this period of a 3-3 game. Are we going to go to overtime with these guys again? Yes, we are. So this game is going to overtime. So I called for 2 points. I said, give me 2 points, baby. At least give me 2. And they're going to give me 1. All right, so we couldn't get we could still get the 2. We could still get the 2. And if you've been paying attention, obviously, if we get a win in overtime, we get the 2. And they're a Western Conference team, so we don't care if they get the 1 point. So good job from the team. Before we even go into the overtime, good job from the team. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Got some goals there on the evening. So all tied up. Let's head into the mall and take a look at our overtime period. All right, so here we are inside the overtime period. Looks like Kelly, Pichek, and Serge out there. Come on, Pichek. Pass it. Kelly. Oh, and he gets knocked off the puck. Let's go ahead. Kelly's going to knock him. No, here he comes. Stop him, Serge. No! Oh, too quick. Oh. All right, so a tough overtime loss to the Dallas Stars on our home ice. As you saw there in the overtime, we had actually Pichek. That was different. Usually we're used to seeing Mr. Burns, Mr. Kelly, and Mr. Ibarra. But in this overtime, we had Mr. Pichek showing us the way. So, unfortunately, couldn't get that pass over, and then Kelly gets knocked off the puck. They take it back up the ice, and it's Mr. Sergio Ibarra, kind of in a 2-on-1 situation, just couldn't get over on his player, and boom, they snap up a goal. So a 4-3 loss to Dallas in Hartford. But we got 1 point out of the deal. So let's go ahead to the big board. I'm going to put that one up there. And that ties our lowest of the season so far in an episode, as we got 9 points out of this one. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 3 stars of that game. We should have a little mix of teams. And yes, of course we do. Blake came up with a big goal early in that game. I believe that was the first goal of the game. So good to see him getting up on the board. Ottinger actually gets a couple of stars for that performance. I don't know if it actually warrants stars, but he played well enough to get the win. And Mike Kelly gets a goal and 0 assists. Robertson, I believe, had 2 goals in that game, so that's kind of a shock to see him not get a star. Or be one of the 3 stars in that game. So, exciting stuff. Took us to overtime again. Came away with the win again. But got to see the team put up some good goals and play a tough one at home. All right, so we are through episode number 6. The team is in a bit of a funk. As we make our way to the 50-game point of the season. Hopefully we can do something a little bit better moving forward. Really need to get some points going. You can see in the Atlantic Division, we are currently 4th and holding on for dear life to that wild card spot. All right, so in the next episode, you can see on the calendar right here, we'll start off with the Chicago Blackhawks, who are 19, 22, and 6 right now. Then we'll head back to New York to take on the Rangers. So these 2 games, actually first couple of games are on the road. We'll be in Chicago. We're in New York. Then we take on Columbus, who's 24, 22, and 5. So I'm thinking we might be able to get a couple points out of those first couple games. And then we come back home. We'll take on the Rangers and Carolina in back-to-back games. Then it's Chicago at home, Tampa Bay at home. So you see that's 2 little sets of back-to-backs. All right, so we'll probably see DJ in there as well. All right, then we head to Calgary, Seattle, and then back to Florida to take on Tampa Bay. It's been very fun putting these all together. I hope that you enjoy watching. Once again, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. And we look forward to seeing you in the cave for episode 7.